Ladies and gentlemen, from the Paramount here in Huntington, New York, we are set to go with our next bout of the evening, and it's all being brought to you courtesy of Joe DeGuardia's Star Boxing. Your three judges scoring this contest from ringside: Larry Hazard Jr., John McKay, and Carlos Ortiz Jr. At the sound of the bell, your third man in the ring, Pat Sullivan. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 8 rounds of boxing scheduled in the junior welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, he wears the red trunks with white trim. He weighed in at an even 140 pounds. His professional record, 8 victories against 15 defeats. He has 4 wins coming by way of knockout. De Managua, Nicaragua. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Carlos Zurdo Aguilera. Aguilera. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. He wears the red, white, and blue and silver. He weighed in at a ready 139.6 pounds. His professional record, 10 victories, no defeats. He has 1 draw and 4 wins coming by way of knockout. Representing Universal Boxing from Woodhaven, New York, ladies and gentlemen, Danny El Gallo Gonzalez. Gonzalez.
All right, fighters, you'll be giving you instructions in your dressing room, okay? I expect you to obey the New York State Athletic Commission's commands, all right? Protect yourself at all times, fellas. Keep it clean. Touch gloves, come out fighting at the bell. Touch gloves.
Here we go. This one in the 140-pound weight division, scheduled for 8 rounds. You know a little bit about 140-pounders, Cletus Selden. Daniel Gonzalez.
Absolutely.
Against Carlos Aguilera.
140 is the weight class to be right now. Daniel Gonzalez, the young, hungry, undefeated lion against the tough veteran from Nicaragua. Actually fought his coach that's in his corner tonight, Wilfredo Acuna. He was a really tough fighter, and these guys really come to fight, these Nicaraguan kids. These guys come in here and they really put it all on the line. And then you can tell he's coming forward right now. But Daniel Gonzalez has really, really lightning quick feet and very light on him. He can throw combinations right off the bat. This is Daniel Gonzalez's first 8-round fight, and he comes out of that really tough hard-working gym in Queens at the Universal Boxing Gym run by Moses. Puts all these guys through tremendous hard work. I know I went there in the wintertime. They have a heater that comes out with 100 degrees heat right above the ring. It's extremely hot in there, and these fighters work. Danny Gonzalez is in shape all year round.
Do you like training in a hot gym? Do you think it's better for a fighter?
Absolutely. I go down to Florida each training camp. I love it down there when it's nice and high, especially in the summertime, because if I can work up there, down there in the extreme heat, I can come up here and it'll be a nice little breeze for me. And down there, you work with 30-second in between rest rounds, so it's even worse. I remember coming back to the corner and my trainers are sweating.
Carlos Aguilera in the red trunks, white stripe, the southpaw. Daniel Gonzalez feeling him out, having a little early fight problems with that right jab.
Absolutely. You got to see, he's got another lefty and a righty coming up, but he doesn't really know how to get over it right off the bat. So Danny's going to have to take a little bit more chances so he can get this fight going and get his sweat going and get the move on. Because once he's in, he's in.
And that record of Carlos Aguilera, 10-16, 10 wins, 16 losses with 4 knockouts. He's not the biggest puncher in the world, but certainly he's not the losing fighter that record makes you think he is, because he goes into the backyard so many times of young prospects just like Daniel Gonzalez.
Absolutely, and you can see that he's trying to fight off his back foot and try to take the energy and all the steam actually out of Gonzalez, because he was very pumped and excited in between the round. Before the fight even started, he was jumping up, he was excited, he got his hands up, and he actually took a little bit of air out of the entire arena, which is a good little strategy by Carlos.
Carlos, not the biggest puncher in the world. I mean, he does have 4 knockouts in his 10 wins, but basically he will outwork you. He's in tremendous condition, and I know you happen to like his wardrobe tonight.
Absolutely. Also, Danny Gonzalez, he only has 4 knockouts as well, even though Carlos has 4 knockouts.
Yep.
So it was really nice to see Danny come out there and put on a show and get a knockout for himself.
Well, round number 1 is in the books. And remember, this one is scheduled for 8 rounds. And let's take a look into the blue corner.
So you have Wilfredo Acuna. I fought him in my 13th pro fight. He has really good strategy. He's going to be fighting off his back foot. He's going to tell Carlos right now, he's going to tell him to keep relaxing and find his opportunity to counter. I know how he fights. I've been in there with him. He's going to tell him to fight off his back foot. He's not going to come forwards like you think, because every time Danny comes in, he's going to back up. That's exactly what he's telling him right now.
So when you say a guy is fighting off his back foot, basically means get the punch out and then get out.
Absolutely. He's going to throw 1-2 punches, try to counter, and he's going to back right out of there. What Danny needs to do is throw more than 1 or 2 punches, come in with a fury of punches, 3, 4, 5 punches. That's where he's going to catch him, and that's where Carlos's hands are going to come down when he goes back too, and he's going to catch him totally off balance, because you don't want to fight off your back foot the entire fight, just a little bit of part of it. But you can see how he keeps his left leg so stiff that every time he throws a punch, he comes right out.
It's round number 2. Carlos Aguilera and Danny Gonzalez. Danny in the white trunks with the blue and all the other accessories on there. Carlos Aguilera, red trunks, white stripes, southpaw.
It seems like Gonzalez is having, he's having a hard time catching Aguilera's rhythm. He's still having a hard time landing those initial combinations that'll give him that confidence. He's still trying to figure out his rhythm.
Absolutely, you can see that too. The way that the Nicaraguan kid keeps kind of backing out, and he can't get his range at all. Everything's not flowing in his way.
It's very frustrating. I'm sure you know, Cletus, to fight somebody like that, somebody with that like unorthodox, weird movement pattern that you have to second guess yourself when you throw.
Absolutely. He fights the same way as Wilfredo Acuna. Wilfredo Acuna also fought Chris Aguilera, and Chris Aguilera had a tough time with him as well. What I realized was, instead of backing him up and trying to play this little chess match with him, to actually bring it to him and not to do that, just to go out there and make him work a little bit, and he'll make that mistake. And that's what I did to Wilfredo Acuna. So Danny is what he's doing right here. Make him work. Instead of backing out, make him work some more.
What they're going to have to watch for, and as Kara pointed out before, because when you have a right-hander against a southpaw, they step on each other's feet, and just as I was talking about it, Daniel Gonzalez happened to step on the right foot of Aguilera. And you gotta watch for headbutts, because their heads are just banging around in there. And Aguilera loves coming forward and just ducking down and grabbing the waist of Gonzalez. And twice their heads have just lightly collided.
You can see it every time Danny comes in. Carlos goes right down every time. He's so awkward though. It's really hard for him to actually be on balance and have good technique, so he actually has to put his head down and just throw punches over his shoulders.
Yeah, he's having a hard time landing that jab. He's actually coming in with his head and trying to land body shots, not even leading up with the jab. So he's definitely having a hard time breaking through, Aguilera's unorthodox movements.
Danny laying back a little bit right now. Tried an overhand right a few moments ago that went right over the head of Aguilera.
What I would like to see Danny do is move his feet just like before. They need to move left and right, not to stand and attack from each other right from the get-go. You guys know what each other's going to do if they're standing right in front of each other. But if Danny uses his legs, goes left and right, he will see that he can make angles and be a very effective coming forward puncher.
And another round in the books. And that was a frustrating round, I thought, for Daniel Gonzalez. He didn't look like he was really in command of that round. And let's take a look at some action from round number 2, Cletus.
You have Danny Gonzalez trying to work. He's really coming in there trying to work, but he doesn't want to take too many chances. And as that happened, you can see Carlos Aguilera backing out. Again, he's trying to come in with his punches, but Aguilera keeps backing out. Is Aguilera going to win the round? No, but he's making it a tough fight for Danny Gonzalez tonight.
On your official, unofficial, official scorecard, who did you give that last round to?
That's going to go to Danny. Danny threw more punches. He came forward. He tried to make the fight happen, but Danny wants to go out there and prove himself that he belongs to Star Boxing. He wants to put on a show, and it's very tough for him right now, being on the outside of the Nicaraguan kid's jab. It's very tough for him.
It's like you almost feel his frustration. You could see it from here.
Well, let's see if they figured it out this round. Daniel Gonzalez comes out, starts to put the pressure on, runs into a shot. And again, as Cletus said earlier, there's Carlos Aguilera fighting again off that back foot. And just as he started to step back, then he leaned in, grabbed, pulls with one hand, punches with the other.
Absolutely. He's doing it all night long. At least they're in there now trying to dig to the body. They're digging in the body. They're punching. They're going out there. Not the most beautiful thing, but they're working hard.
You know, there are truly good fighters with bad records and bad fighters with good records. Carlos Aguilera happens to be one of those good fighters with a bad record.
Yes, you can tell he's been in everybody's backyard. He probably never even fought at home in years. So he's definitely showing his tough spirit and his tough heart right here, right now at the Paramount.
Well,
one thing, though, is Danny works out hard. He's used to living in this kind of style. So I don't know how hard Carlos has been working, but Danny has been working extremely hard, and you can tell on the inside now where the fight's going to go. Danny's going to start throwing a little bit more punches.
Well, Aguilera tells me he's really in great shape. And of his last 5 fights, he lost his last one, but he won his actually of his last 6. He lost his last fight and then was on a 5-fight winning streak before that.
Yeah, and that's him going all over the place, fighting anybody he can. He's doing a great job being in there as a tough game opponent, just like he truly is. But on the other hand, because he's been there, he got so much experience, he's going to the body. He knows it's an 8-round fight, and he's working as hard as he can. Good, again, you can see just aiming for the body. He's not even trying for his head anymore.
Oh.
And Danny's just aiming at his head. He's just whipping his punches. He needs to put a little bit more hip into it. He can take him out of there.
Danny would love to fight this one at a phone booth. He doesn't like the movement he's getting.
He definitely hurt him with those few pop shots, the uppercut, the right hook. He's doing it from every angle. He's doing it. That was a fantastic flurry he had the last 20 seconds. He might take him out between this round and next. He's definitely throwing those punches in bunching, and he's throwing from different angles. He doesn't even know how to defend himself. He doesn't know if they come from the head or the body.
They have traded low blows this round. I wasn't sure if that was an intentional shot by Danny, like a payback shot. But each guy has landed a low shot, which has had referee Pat Sullivan say, keep him up, boys.
Danny's working that body. He doesn't even need to hit the head. He just keeps working that body. He's going to finish this fight nice and strong for himself.
Yeah, once Danny gets in there, he's good. You know, he gets in there, he's the stronger fighter for sure. It's just the matter of getting in there.
Yeah, once he's in there, he's in, and he's working very hard.
Another one in the books. This is Joe DeGuardia's Star Boxing Rockin' Fights 23. We'll be back with more after this. Welcome back to Star Boxing's Rockin' Fights 23 from the Paramount in Huntington, Long Island, New York. This one is an 8-round bout between Carlos Aguilera in the red trunks and Daniel Gonzalez. Daniel 10-0-1 with 4 knockouts. Carlos Aguilera with a very deceiving 10-16 record.
Danny's coming in there. He's trying to finish this fight right now. He's got him against the ropes early in the round. He's got his head in there. He's grinding. He's grinding as hard as he's throwing his punches really hard. Hopefully he doesn't get countered. Hopefully he doesn't get tired.
Coming in with his hand drop like that, Cletus, it kind of, you know, I know you do that with a lead left drop down. Do you think he's at risk for getting countered though, like you just mentioned?
It depends if he really wants to take the Nicaraguan's power. He's taken it, he's tested it. Does he believe in himself that he can take that big shot from him, and take that big chance and come out with a good victory right here? You always got to weigh that risk and that reward. Do you want to take that opportunity? And there he goes. Look at that. 4 or 5 punch combination. Body, head. Ripping the shots. Looks fantastic right now. Oh, over and over again. I just wish he would sit down on that last punch that he throws. He could really do some damage there. If he just sat on that last punch, he looks like he's just flailing his arm, just doing damage, but he could really stop him if he did that.
He's definitely slowing Aguilera down. Aguilera's not as, he's not moving as much. He's sort of worn out. You could see that now.
Absolutely, but he's definitely game. He's still punching. He's in tremendous shape, like you said earlier, Randy.
Remember, this is the 5th round, and as you mentioned earlier, Cletus, Daniel Gonzalez has never been that 8-round distance, and on a few occasions, Aguilera has been past 8 rounds. So do you think he's trying to make Daniel work a little bit harder and just burn him out right here?
Absolutely. That's a great point, because Danny, he knows he has 4 knockouts. He wants to get that 5th knockout, so he's going to work extremely harder than he thinks. But the Carlos, at the same time, wants to get him in a deeper round, so it might be something that weighs the risk and reward into Aguilera's corner. But Danny, if he continues going to the body, he will finish the fight not as drained as Aguilera would.
Several nice right uppercuts by Daniel Gonzalez, and he's turned those right uppercuts into overhand rights, leaning into that right hand, trying for the knockout. You just know Daniel wants to end this fight.
Absolutely.
But again, should he try to put too much into those shots, he just might punch himself out.
Absolutely. He needs to go back to the body like he is right there. But I wish he would just continue focusing like he did before, not try to find that one-punch shot. Especially if you don't really have it yet, to just keep throwing those combinations like he did right there at the end of the round. And he's done that the entire round. He looked fantastic.
And let's take a look at that hot round. This thing is really heating up.
Here comes Danny Gonzalez throwing more combinations, just like you saw earlier. He just keeps digging them and digging them and digging them. Wouldn't you agree with me, Tara?
I would definitely agree with you. He's throwing more combinations. He's found his openings now. You know, he's found the weaknesses in Carlos Aguilera's, in his guard, and he's actually landing more shots up close. It might not be the prettiest rounds for him, but he's definitely winning the last couple rounds.
He looks so much better when he's throwing the combinations instead of trying that one-punch knockout. When he tries the one-punch knockout, sure, he might land it on the hand, he might land on the elbow, but it's not as effective as when he's throwing those combinations. Everybody wants to be known as that big knockout guy, that guy that can finish the fight. And he really believes he wants to be that guy, and it's good, but at the same time, you don't want to lose yourself in the middle of the fight.
Right. And it takes a lot of stamina, mental stamina, I think, to not look for that big knockout, to actually go in there and box and not to go in there crazy. A lot of people don't realize that it takes a lot of mental strength to do that.
And Pat Sullivan had the New York State Athletic Commission doctors take a look at Aguilera. He may have a little cut there. I didn't see any cut, but I don't know why. Other than that, they would have had the doctors taking a look at him.
Yeah, the doctor had a beautiful bow tie, by the way. That's really hard to tie a bow tie. It looked really good.
Did you notice his bow tie when you were fighting?
If he had a bow tie on, I would definitely notice it, because it's very hard to tie one. It's impossible to me.
I think he had that one on your last fight.
Randy G ringside, along with Cletus Selden and Cara Castronova, here at the Paramount in Huntington, Long Island, New York. This is round number 6.
Aguilera is continuing the fight on the inside with him. He's sitting there, he can take his punches and he's throwing back. Danny's doing the same thing. This is a great fight. If Danny continues to throw the combination throughout the rest of this fight, the rest of this round, he'll probably stop him. If he does go back to throwing that one-punch shot, he's not going to get it over with.
And that's what it looks like Danny is doing, and he's not a one-punch knockout hitter. Looking like he's loading up every time he throws a shot, whether it's a power hook or a right hand. Looks like he's trying to end it.
Absolutely, you can see it, but because Aguilera fights off his back foot and he keeps his left hand up, it keeps hitting him in his glove, and it's taking a lot of energy out of Danny Gonzalez as he spits out a little bit of water out of his mouth right there. You can tell he's really digging deep and trying to keep the fight going, but he would not waste as much energy by throwing that big punch. Danny's doing great work on the inside, but as soon as he goes, Aguilera comes right back. This is a great fight for everybody.
You know, it's funny, even though I'm thinking that Danny Gonzalez is winning the fight, as I looked at my scorecard, I've got Danny up by 1 point.
Wow. It's definitely been a very competitive fight, especially in these last 2 or 3 rounds. Aguilera's been standing there with him.
I mean, Aguilera is not at his best on the inside, though. The earlier rounds when he's on the outside and he's unorthodox and hard to hit is when he's the best. But I think he's too tired now to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. His legs are too tight. He doesn't even want to bend back anymore. He's just trying to sit in there with them.
Yeah, like you mentioned earlier, he wants to fight off the back foot. He can't really do that much anymore.
But every time that Danny hits him with 5, 6, two times in combinations like that, he comes right back and he looks really good at doing it. So
I think it's a matter of heart now. I mean, he's in good shape, but he's definitely a fighter. He's a born fighter. He fights back when someone hits him. That's what it comes down to.
And that's the end of the 5th round.
Aguilera has a little cut on the right eye. You can see that going. Then
let's take a look at some action from a fight that could Aguilera be winning.
Again, Danny Gonzalez load him up with those big shots. I believe he should just save his energy and throw those nice timed little combinations over and over again. He's doing a good job there throwing the combinations, but again, if he tries to just not throw those big looping shots, as you can see, he'd be doing much more an effective way to fight. The doctor just called the fight. I believe it's over. Danny Gonzalez wins on a TKO.
The doctor is looking. I do not see any cut. Danny has just stood up and acknowledged the fact that he will be awarded a TKO victory, but I do not see any reason. Aguilera has accepted it with a smile and an embrace of Danny Gonzalez, but I don't know why, whether it was a cut, or you gotta remember, also here in New York, they are very, very attuned to taking a look at the fighter. Remember, a couple of years ago, they had just a horrible tragedy at Madison Square Garden with Abdul Salamet. Well, we're going to take a look, and it could be a cut or whatever, but we're going to find out what it was that brought an end to this junior welterweight contest when we come back. Karen?
You know,
Welcome back to the Paramount here in Huntington, Long Island, New York, and our own Cara Castronova is over talking with the doctor. Let's get the stoppage there from David Diamante, the time and everything. It appears to be a cut around the right eye. I saw the doctor pointing to Cara. Let's find it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Pat Sullivan calls a halt to this contest. The official time of the stoppage, 3 minutes of round number 5. Your winner by TKO He's still undefeated, Danny El Gallo Gonzalez.
Yeah, apparently there was a cut around the right eye. We didn't see any blood coming down, but they were doing a great job then in the corner, keeping the blood from going into his eye. But apparently it was the cut. And let's get up to Kara with Daniel Gonzalez.
Thanks, guys. Danny, the first couple rounds you were having a little bit of a hard time adjusting to his movement, but you did adjust eventually.
Yeah.
Want to tell me about that?
Yeah, he's just a southpaw. You know, he's a veteran. He got a lot of fights. He kind of threw me off with the southpaw. Took me a couple rounds to figure him out. But once I was figuring him out, I was breaking him down. I think if it kept on going, I would have stopped him by like the 7th, 8th round.
So you think it was getting close to a stoppage?
Yeah, he was bleeding. I was hurting him with hooks. I was starting to find my timing. I was going to land the right hand good, the left hook, but they stopped it. You know, safety of the fighter is the most important.
Congratulations, Danny. That was a wonderful performance, and looking forward to seeing you at the Paramount again.
Thank you. Definitely. I love the venue. Love Star Boxing.
Well, Daniel Gonzalez, a happy winner.
You can see Danny Gonzalez continue with those combinations in the later part of the round as well, which happened to be the cut over Aguilera's right eye, which ended the fight. So good job, great combinations for Danny. Good night, he got what he came in for, and he went the distance for longer than he ever did before. So good job, Danny. Keep up the great work.
Daniel Gonzalez now 11-0-1.